What's up there, everybody? This is Redline Outdoors. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Adam Sanderson. Today I will be painting this old canoe camouflage. I've been wanting to do this for a couple years, and I said it's time to do it now. Every time I think about doing it, it's already well in the deer season, and I don't want my boat to smell like paint while I'm out there trying to hunt, because I have lots of spots where I hunt really close to the boat and I don't want it to spook the deer. So it's August and we're going to go ahead and get some camouflage on this boat this year. So I'm not claiming to be a professional boat painter. I'm not saying that, but this video can show y'all if you want your boat to look like what this one's going to look like. Just stay tuned. The only thing that I've done to this boat so far is I sanded it down and I washed it down with water to get all the debris and dirt off of it. I sanded it down to try to create some grit on the top of this canoe, so hopefully the paint will stick to the boat. Alright, so as y'all know, spray paint is sky high now. This stuff was like $8 a can. I didn't buy it cheap. I bought Rust-Oleum. They didn't have, this is going to be the base color, the base coat that I use, and they only had satin. They didn't have flat, so it's just going to have to do. This is going to be the first coat that I put on. All right, and this was roughly $8 a can, and I may have to buy more. I think I bought 4 or 5 cans of this. So all right guys, you're gonna have to forgive the background noise. My neighbor's out weeding his yard. So the stencil that I'm using today is made by Red Leg, okay, and this is it right here. I can't remember the name of the exact pattern. I'll try to look it up while I'm editing this video to see if I can tell y'all exactly what this is, and I'll try, I'm not making any promises, but I'll try to leave a link in the description box below for this stencil, so you can get it if you want. And this is like a 8 by 12 piece, 9 by 12, 10 by 12. It's small. I don't need a big piece. So all right, we only need 3 colors total. You can mix it up. You can choose the base color you want, what color you want these to be, and what color you want the bark to be. You can mix it up. You don't have to make it exactly like I do, but I went to the hardware store and saw what they had and picked the best that I could. So I'm gonna call this the Army Camo. I got camouflage, Rust-Oleum. It doesn't really even have a color name to it, but that's kind of an olive green flat for this, and the bark is going to be flat black. I bought all Rust-Oleum products because I didn't want to buy cheap. The next process I have now is to go ahead and put on my base coat. So I'm just going to paint this whole boat with this is pretty much just a khaki color. This is called Fossil, and again, it's satin. I prefer that it to be flat, but I guess you can see that they didn't have flat. All they had was satin, so it's just gonna have to work. So all right, let's get to painting. This is gonna take a while to get this done. It's 100 degrees out here. I got this boat pulled over in the shade, and if y'all see me moving my neck kind of crooked, I've been battling some neck issues for the past week. I actually went to the chiropractor this morning and got to go back tomorrow. So all right, let's get to painting. See what we can do with this boat. We're gonna make her look good, boy. We're gonna be pulling up, hiding in the bushes and stuff in the old canoe, pulling some nannies out of there. Make sure you shake this paint up real good. Take your time, shake it up. We want it to stick. Get that old rattle can moving. Alright, so I've just looked in my bag and I've got 5 cans of base, and I hope to goodness that's enough. I don't know. We'll see. So they didn't have it like 3 more in the whole store in stock. Alright y'all, I've used 2 total cans, and as you can see I've got my first coat on there, and I've got pretty decent coverage for 2 cans. I'm going to let this dry for about 30 minutes, and I'm going to come back and hit it the whole boat with another coat, let it dry, and come back and start working on my stencils. That's going to be the time consuming part, so I'll catch y'all right back here in about 30 minutes. And hey, if y'all seen that this video is helping y'all out some a little bit so far in your life, because we're painting boats and whatever else we're gonna get into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell, so you will get notified next time I post. This is the type of content that I put out, just hunting, fishing stuff, just redneck stuff. And obviously you like that kind of stuff, or you wouldn't be watching this stuff right now. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But I'll catch y'all in 30 minutes. Bye. Alright y'all, I've got the first coat finished on the boat. We got good coverage. Now I'm going to start on the stenciling part, and that's going to be the most time consuming. So I've got my army pattern part, and I've got the olive or the hunter green, whatever color you choose. This is flat camo Rust-Oleum. Like I said, my base coat was satin, and as you can see, it turned out to be just a little bit shiny. That's alright. This is going to cover all that up, but if it bothers you, go ahead and take your time and try to find some flat for your base coat. So I'm going to shake this up real good, and we're going to get started on the stencil part. And I'm going to run it long ways up and down, and it's pretty much going to work out pretty good. As you can see, it blends to the size of the canoe really good. But the reason it's going to take so long is pretty much in between every time that I move the stencil, I've got to set the stencil down and let it dry out. If we don't do that, the next time we move it down and it's still wet, it's going to leave a nasty little smear there. The lines for your camo won't be sharp. It'll be kind of smeared. If you've messed with stencils, you know what I'm talking about. So just go ahead, and every time you spray it, remember, whenever you put your stencils on there, you pretty much have one shot to get it right, because we can't go back and put a second layer on there, because you'll never match the camo up properly exactly again. And I will not finish today at 6 o'clock. Like I say, this is the tedious part, so the moment of truth. So I'm going to start all the way at this end. And if you want to, you can get a piece of cardboard and protect the side of this boat from overspray. Matter of fact, I'm going to go look for a piece and see if I can find a piece. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. Alright y'all, I managed to find a little piece of cardboard. So we're going to protect from overspray. I'm going to hold that right there. And if you have rubber gloves, put them on now. I don't have any. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm going to pull it off of there. Guys, we did get a little bit of overspray, but hey, that's alright. Like I said, I'm not a professional, and it's going to look good. My stencil is still clean right now, so I'm going to keep moving down the boat. Hey, we're gonna take a break from painting. I want you to meet my chickens. Y'all meet my chickens. There's my rooster. And there's all his concubines. That's my chickens. Alright y'all, we're running out of daylight somewhat, and I need to let my stencil dry out pretty good, so I'll catch y'all here tomorrow. We'll be finishing the army camo up and putting the tree bark on, and we'll be finished. Alright y'all, here it is. It's actually 2 days later. I've been battling some neck issues, so I've been laid up on the couch resting my neck to try to recoup whatever's going on. So let's get to finish. See if we can try to finish this boat, or almost get finished with it today. We're almost done. We got half this side left and the bottom, and then we still need to do the bark. So let's try to finish the army part here shortly, and then we'll start on the bark. Alright y'all, to help with time, I'm going to go ahead and start on the bark because my army camo stencil is wet. You need to let it dry out. This is what I'm calling the bark, and it's going to be flat black. Okay, so what we're going to do, you can kind of see through my pattern down the side of this boat that this was a stencil and this was a stencil. You can kind of see a gap right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start probably right here with my army camo to cover up that gap, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna shake up this paint real good. We're gonna go ahead and get started on the black, and I'll come back whenever my army stencil dries out, and I will go back and finish the bottom, and that way we can go ahead and get started, move on to another piece of the project. Coffee. So I'm pleased with the way it's turning out so far. I'm no professional, nor does it look professional, but every time I said I was going to do this, it's always the end of September, October, when I'm really thinking about deer season, and I don't want the deer to smell the spray paint. So now it's got time for it to weather and, you know, kind of dry out and all that. If we really wanted to get crazy with it, we could do the inside of the boat too, but I'm not that worried about it. If I was a duck hunter, I definitely would. Here we go. Alright guys, that's going to look pretty good. I will say this stencil is a little bit more tough to paint than the army side. So guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off. I'm going to work my way down with the bark and the flat black. Finish the top, finish the bottom rather, and go ahead and work my bark on both sides and the bottom, and then I will check back with you guys and I will show you the finished product of what this boat will look like. I think we're going to be happy. Alright y'all, as you can see, the finished product is behind me. So let's talk about some things that I would have done differently. Since this is the first time I've ever stencil camoed a boat. One thing I might would have done different is I may have painted the boat with the base color with a paintbrush possibly. If If I was really worried about being tedious with this boat, I would have taken more time with overspray. Is another thing that I would have changed. However, I was not concerned with it being a professional grade camouflage job. However, it is everything that I wanted and maybe more. It looks really good to me. I would have taken my time and bought a flat paint for the base. All they had was satin, and I was ready to get some paint to get this job started, but it is not glossy hardly at all. It's not bad at all, but I would have taken my time and bought flat paint for the base color. Let me get my hand off that camera. Alright, so some tips that I do have. After you get your base coat on there and you start working on the stencil, as I said before, on the Army Camo portion, if you use this stencil pattern, make sure you spray paint it. Make sure you put it on the boat, you paint it just like that, and move it down one, turn it around. That way the pattern that way it won't be the same pattern all the way down, if that makes sense. And make sure that you kind of don't butt this up exactly where it was whenever you move it down. Go ahead and push it over to where the pattern is touching each other. That way there won't be big gaps all the way down the boat. Imperfections didn't show up quite as much with the tree bark portion, and it went by fairly smoothly. Another tip that I do have is don't buy cheap paint. I ran out of paint, of my good Rust-Oleum paint, and I needed to paint like 6 more squares, and I had some black paint in my shop. I went ahead and used it, and it was the cheap stuff. It does not cover near as well, and the little nozzles on them that you push with your finger aren't near as forgiving. Just don't buy cheap paint. Get the good stuff. Spend the extra money, extra few dollars, and get a good brand of paint. Other than that, I think that's about it. The more time that you take with overspray and placing your stencil down the boat, the better it's going to look. And another thing is take your time with the stencil and let the back of it, whenever you see it starting to smear a little bit, let it dry off. And say you're going down the boat and you just painted this right here. We're not going to pull it off like this because it's going to smear it. Spray paint it, get it, pull it off just like that, as fast as you can and as straight away from the boat as possible. That way you don't get any smears. Other than that, I cannot think of anything else. I'm pleased the way this turned out. I'm going to try to find, I looked on my Amazon account, I can't find where I bought that stencil pattern, but I'm sure it's still on Amazon and we'll be able to find it, and I'll put it in the description box below. It was cheap. It was like 15 bucks, and I spent around $70 on paint for this boat. It's a pretty good size canoe. I don't really know. It's probably 14 foot if I had to guess. It's a pretty good size canoe. So let's get a close-up look of this canoe before I close out this video. That way y'all can see it. Alright, so one of the things I wanted to show to y'all see all that overspray on the bottom of that boat? That was me getting lazy. Okay. And I was having to overspray. What I should have done is got some cardboard and put on the other side, but it still looks great on the sides of the boat. I mean, dude, that looks awesome. Alright y'all, that's all I have for you today. Look at that beautiful canoe right there. Y'all, if you have a hunting boat, and you want it to look like that, hard work will pay off, and that's what you'll get. And it's a fine looking canoe now. It looks a whole lot better than it did. But if y'all found value in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it if you give me a big thumbs up, and we'll catch y'all in the next video. God bless, and thanks for tuning in to Redline Outdoors. Catch y'all next time. Bye.